Alright guys, so what is Rndr Token for beginners? Rndr Token, Rndr Token will make millionaires because when it comes to powering the metaverse, Rndr Token metaverse, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Because a lot of people has been asking me, alright dude, you're doing all these videos on Theta and how it will power the metaverse. But what about this Rndr token? Because Rndr will allow metaverses and not just metaverses to take advantage of graphical processing units or GPUs, which is needed in order to render the metaverse. So that's what we're going to talk about. If that seems too high level to you right now, don't worry about it. We're going to break it down so that even a baby can understand. So if you haven't already, if you're new to this channel or you're a returning viewer but has not subscribed yet, then please do me this one favor, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and now let's jump into the video. So I first want to start off this video by asking the question, where are we right now? So right now we're in the midst of some extreme technological innovation with virtual reality, metaverses, augmented reality, and etc. So soon to be required are innovations like metaverses, and these kind of things require a lot of complex jobs, a lot of external servers, and basically just a lot more resources in order for them to work. And rendering these worlds, and when I mean rendering, just showing you these worlds, may become exponentially higher in terms of costs because of the need for higher resolution and frame rates. And until now, no system has existed that scales rendering speeds across many dimensions. Until now, no systems allow content creators to tap into a vast pool of graphic cards from an online network. So what is Rndr Token? So Rndr Token will make the process of rendering and streaming videos and metaverses easier for all users, because right now if you actually hop onto Decentraland, if your computer is not good enough, the graphics, the GPU is not good enough, then it's gonna run really slowly and it's gonna lag. We can't have that. But with Rndr Token, it will allow complex GPUs to render the jobs for you. So pretty much how they render your metaverse, that's gonna be distributed and it's gonna be processed on a peer-to-peer network. That means instead of just having your computer process that metaverse, you're gonna have a wide array of computers process that metaverse for you. And the Rndr token makes this whole entire thing possible. So it will make it possible to turn rendering and streaming into a way for end users to make money, to make passive income. So let's talk about rendering 101. Let's actually describe what that is. So rendering is also known as image synthesis, and what it does is it transforms a 2D or a 3D model, a computer model, into a photo image or a scene. Rendering is really how our smartphones and our computers presents to us videos, images, and games that we enjoy every single day. So you might not know about it, but this is happening every time you interact with your phone or a computer. So rendering can be as simple as rendering a 2D cartoon like Scooby-Doo, or something as complex as rendering the Transformers movies. And for example, architects need rendering in their 3D modeling software to create really accurate blueprints to the minuscule details, because when you are living in a building, you don't want that to fall on you, and they need rendering in order to get into the nitty-gritty of the details. And surgeons also need rendering in order to, let's say, render organ scans for their patients. So next time you go to the doctors, when they're looking at your x-ray and stuff like that, yeah, that's rendering. And programmers need real-time rendering to really create environments like, let's say, the metaverse. And we know that in our world right now, we're becoming more and more dependent on visual and virtual technology. So we know that rendering will evolve. Just take a look at how many people spend time on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. That is all rendering. And lastly, there's this product called Octane Render from OTOY, which is the world's first and fastest GPU accelerated physically correct render. So what does that mean? It basically means it uses the graphic cards in your computer to render images extremely quickly. Because before, it used to take, let's say, hours or days or weeks, but now it's basically instant to render an image or a photo. Alright, now that we have explained rendering 101, now let's go to the advanced class and talk about distributed rendering. Alright, don't get scared. I'm gonna make this as simple as possible that even a baby can understand. But here's the idea. There are millions of developers with Octane Render available that they can use in their GPUs. Now the problem is that most of these GPUs that we're talking about, they are idle and not in use. So the Rndr Token network really solves this idleness, because when people have things they want to render but no GPUs, they can pay Rndr tokens to these developers to render what they want rendered. And these developers can use these GPUs to render things for people to earn passive income in the form of Rndr token, which can be sold for fiat currency like say euros, US dollars, Canadian dollars, and so on. So here's really the option. You could either leave your GPUs sitting there idle, earning you no money, or you could hop on the Rndr Token network where you can render things for people when your GPU is not in use and earn some money on the side. So your GPU, if it's not in use, you can just make money from it, which is not possible without the Rndr Token network. Let's actually talk more about Rndr Token and blockchain rendering. So Rndr Token is basically the primary unit of exchange here in this scenario that we're talking about, to exchange rendering and streaming services in exchange for proof of rendering work on the Octane Render Cloud network. So this token will allow users to have access to the wide array of GPUs in this peer-to-peer network, allowing for quick and reliable rendering facilitated and tracked by the blockchain. These Rndr tokens are available on Ethereum and Polygon and can be exchanged for rendering services via smart contracts. So if that made no sense to you, just imagine there is this cloud of basically GPUs. There's all of these different machines that are just there idle for you. And you have something you need to do. You need something rendered. Now you can go to this cloud and you can pay Rndr token and grab any one of these machines to render something that you need rendered. So for example, let's say, to use an analogy, you need something printed. Now you can go to this marketplace and there's all of these printing services. You can just print one, pick one, and have them print something for you and exchange, let's say, a Rndr token to have them print that something for you. So switch that printing job to a rendering job, and that's basically it. Now here's another thing that I was thinking while I was reading this white paper, which is pretty old actually. It's back when Ethereum was first released in 2017, I believe. But the thing is, I think that they will need somewhere to store all these rendering results and rendering products that are rendered. Probably like in a Google Drive or something, but not in a Google Drive because Google Drive is centralized. It's owned by Google. So let's think about some options. What other options are there that are decentralized? Let's say Theta, Filecoin, Holochain. Those are all things that I covered in this channel, and you can check it out in the description below or in pinned comments on those services, because they're probably something you want to get into if Rndr is going to piggyback off their work. Now let's talk about the price of rendering jobs, because these prices are going to be varied, and the price that you're going to get is based on analyzing the supply of GPUs available and the demand for rendering work needed. So this is all done off chain. Hint, hint. Does anybody hear Chainlink ringing? Because Chainlink is also going to be needed in this case. So you can really think about it as Uber. So when it comes to Uber, if let's say there is a big shooting happening, there's going to be a lot of people looking to catch an Uber to get the heck away from there. So there's a certain amount of Uber vehicles and there's a lot of demand for Uber. So that's going to drive the price way up. But there's no shooting. If there's no shooting and there's the same supply of vehicles and low demand of people needing Ubers, then the price of an Uber vehicle is going to go down. So I'm imagining that is going to how things work. In addition, Rndr Network is kind of like a Yelp or a Fiverr basically. You're outsourcing work, and when you get a job done, you're going to get a score. The score is going to be based on how many jobs you've completed or not completed if you're a renderer, or how many jobs you've requested if you're a buyer. And the great thing is that let's say that people wants to try to cheat the system. You know, the renderer tries to cheat the system by producing work that is not for the quality that was paid for. Then the Rndr Network will actually catch that, because they're kind of acting like the teacher watching over the student while they're doing a test. They're trying to make sure that nobody cheats. And if they catch you cheat, you're not just gonna run away with a slap on your hands. You get money and opportunity taken away from you because they will penalize your average score. So basically the people with the best scores are gonna get the most work, and the people with lower scores, they're gonna have a hard time finding some jobs. So that basically incentivizes renderers to do things according to the specifications requested, according to the requirements needed, and the price paid for the quality that is asked for. So that's all I got, guys. That's your Rndr Token 101. What is it for and what does it do and what kind of problem it solves? Now, if you like Rndr or if you're getting into Rndr, let me know in the comments what you think of Rndr, if you're in it or if you're not, or what you're gonna do. Other than that, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've actually learned something, then please don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, check out these other videos on cryptocurrencies and passive income, and I'll see you next time. Peace!